to start off by introducing the people who are in our TED Talk. Please welcome Adam Rosario Camacho and Amy Tran and myself, Melissa Fung. Now, if you look at us, for example, you can see that the male in our group is already outnumbered. Right, Adam?
Right.
Now, let's put aside that debate and move on to Adam's. Adam?
Thank you, Melissa. Good afternoon, everyone. Melissa, Amy, and I will be highlighting and explaining the injustices found when comparing black and white women's representation in 21st century American society. Now, let me ask you this. Why are white females more successful than black females? To answer this, we need to look at research conducted by Maria Guerra. Her findings show that according to census data about work-life earnings, white women make more than African American women among full-time and year-round workers, regardless of what degrees they have obtained. There are many women who are at the top of their fields, but what it boils down to is the fact that there is an underrepresentation of black American women, whether it be in politics, the medical fields, or other areas of work. But why is this? Because it stems from an imbalance in educational achievements for each of the two races. The imbalance of academic triumph is what gives one race the upper hand and the other race disadvantages. One race getting greater representation than the other, namely. Here,
only 21.4% of African American women had a college degree or higher in 2010, compared to 30% of white women, says Maria Guerra.
we clearly see that there is a smaller population of black females who obtain similar degrees as white women do. This data contributes to my point that you don't really get to see a great deal of successful black women around because there is a rather large gap between them and the number of auspicious white women. The second issue I would like to address is this. Why are there so few African American females in the work field? Or better yet, why are there so few African American females in STEM fields? It could be that it's because there's a lot of false perception that STEM education is too difficult, but it mainly has to do with a lack of confidence at the heart of the African American community. Christopher Smith used to tutor black students in his high school in math and science, and has mentioned that a lot of his pupils have told him that they simply cannot do the work. He says if people convince you that science and math is harder than everything else, and you already have low self-esteem, maybe that's one reason why there are so few black scientists. Now look at this quote written by Jesse Washington in Huffington's Post regarding Christopher Smith.
Few is a generous term in Smith's field of biological and biomedical sciences, where 6,957 PhDs were rewarded in 2009. Only 176 went to black women.
Here we see there's a minute percentage of black women obtaining these outstanding degrees. Too many of them don't have the inspiration they need to move forward with their education in the sciences. And sadly, there aren't many role models for them to look up to either. But if we look at their white counterparts, there are numerous role models white females can admire. Madame Marie Curie, Jane Goodall, Rosalind Franklin, to name a few. Don't worry, I won't go on a tangent like Mr. Patton, but I will give you Melissa Fung with more information on our topic.
Adding to what Adam said, African American women are also being offered less and unequal opportunities in employment because of employment discrimination. Along with discrimination comes with stereotypes. A stereotype is widely known as an image of a specific person, race, or thing. When choosing the employees, the employers will choose based on race, no matter what kind of education or even with the same level of education, but the majority of the time, African Americans, women especially, will not stand a chance against Caucasians. Why? Again, it's going back to stereotypes because of the way people link blacks and whites. Now if you take a look at the data on the screen,
In data from the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth over the 26 years observed, 29.5% of black women with high school diplomas but no college degree experienced 10 or more spells of unemployment, compared with only 13.5% of white women with the same education.
this statistic revolving around black and white women with the same education but are of different race just screams employment discrimination. If you take a look at the word spells, the author of the magazine American Prospects, Cecilia A. Conrad, uses this diction to stress the period of which an individual is continuously being rejected employment and thus being unemployed. The answer to this is once again stereotypes. One of these stereotypes is that whites and white women are the ones who are most often perceived as being the smartest, the best, the proper, suitable for the job. With this in mind, the employer will already have a biased opinion on the two employees, preferring the Caucasian woman over the African American woman. Now, please take a look at another data that we've come across.
For many black women, that professional struggle never ends. Nobody reaches out to black women, and when they reach out, the door gets slammed in their face, says Ella L. J. Bell, a professor at Dartmouth Tuck School of Business and co-author of Our Separate Ways, a study of black and white women in corporations. Indeed, despite all the progress they have made, black women are the least satisfied of all groups of women, and overall least likely to stay in their current jobs, says Sheila Willington, president of Catalyst.
From the personal view of Bell, she also believes that when black women do try, they are only faced with more unemployment, spells, and rejection. Therefore, many black women stay strong-minded and always do their best because they know that no one would reach out and offer them a job out of nowhere. And with the process, everyone knows that in order to make progress, they must advance. In this chance, the term advance simply means to change jobs. However, simply is definitely not the term for black women. The correct term is struggle. With all the struggle of advancement and progress, overall African American women are the ones who are least satisfied. From this, it could lead to all sorts of negative side effects, such as stress, which leads to poor health, etc., etc. Not only that, there is also a high chance that they will get fired or laid off of their current jobs because of all the pressure and low benefits of the job. Even then, when black women do get hired, the struggle ain't even near the end yet. Now, enough of my rambling.
So elaborating on what Melissa and Adam said, the next main issue to address is how white women are the ones who get the high-paying jobs first. And by that, I mean that they are more likely to be hired in a professional job than African American women are. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, 40.6% of white women get into high-paying jobs, while 33.8% of black women work in professional or management jobs. Getting into specifics, on the news, there are 27% of white women compared to 7% black women. Did you know that white women are about twice as likely as blacks to get into good jobs? Take a look at this table. Overall, there are more than white people than black people get into high-paying jobs. The white race is represented by the green tones, and the black race is represented by the blue colors. This graph shows the percent of workers being employed in a high-paying job. See that there has always been a little more women shown in the light green than black women? It was seldom that black women get better jobs than whites. The reason is because black women experience higher levels of unemployment rates and also poverty rates. Education is also part of the reason why they have lower wages. Did you know that black and Hispanic women account for 44% of this country's high school dropouts? All this information is based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Going back to what Melissa said, black women are more likely to be unemployed than white women, strongly because of racial discrimination and stereotypes. They aren't given the opportunities that they work so hard for. Now let's actually talk about the black women who actually do get into these high-paying jobs. White women's earnings were always a little bit higher. A wage gap is a percentage of white women's earnings out of the annual earnings of men. Information from the BLS shows that in 1980, white women earned 63.4% of white men's earnings, while black women earned 57%. As time passed on, white women were more successful than black women. In 2012, white women still received a better average salary than black women, 80.8% compared to just 68.1%. This means that for every dollar a man earns, a white woman earns 81 cents, and a black woman only earns 68. White women's earnings increased by 17.4%, while black women's earnings only went up by 10.2%. What does this mean? Well, it means that black women need to start getting fair treatment, whether it is in medical, employment, or pay. If women receive fairer wages, then they will contribute to this nation's prosperity because they earned it.